Hey everyone, Les from Comfortable Shoes Studio here. In my last episode, we talked about putting together a very inexpensive, budget friendly art journaling kit. And today I'm going to use that kit um, as part of my art journaling process. So I am using the journal that I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm not sure how it's going to respond to crayons and this gel pen. But I have been doing a daily drawing exercise where I draw a portrait a day using typically some brush pens from Pentel. Today I'm going to use a selection of crayons to do the same exercise. And this pen in this journal, which is significantly smaller than my usual composition book that I've been using for this. So those images have typically come from this Instagram account called Earth's World, and they're just everyday people attending a variety of fairs across the country. So I like drawing everyday people. I've been here doing that for a long time. So I'm just going to continue that daily drawing project in this journal. And so this is one of the things that you can do in an art journal. Um, and usually these little sketches take um, 15, 20 minutes. I'm using new materials, so they might take me a little longer. Um, Here you can see some of the printing issues with this journal. I tend to work with the gel pens without the cap on. Um, I'm just gonna get started. This is a dot grid. I have been working with a lined sketchbook recently. So I tend to use a contour line drawing technique when I am doing portraits. Um, I look for the contours, I look for the lines in the person's face. It is not the most flattering form of portraiture, but I am not really going for a flattering image in most of these. Um, kind of just feeling my way and finding my way around the person's face here. This is something that I have noticed with this pen as I've tested it out. It does have a tendency to get a little skippy and then a bit blobby. I'll be interested in seeing if um, that shows up or soaks through this paper. I haven't had a chance to use it in my regular composition notebook that I've been using for my daily drawing exercise. This is something that I have been working on here for a while, this daily drawing thing. Um, I'm not always successful at doing a daily drawing exercise. I tend to get busy and then skip it for a day or two and then not get back to it. Um, really working on that. Um, I'm not focusing here on perfection, obviously. I am really trying to focus on kind of capturing this image in a way that feels like this person. Like, I don't know this person, so I don't know um, how much this feels like this person, if it doesn't feel like this person or not. But, there's the vibes on this image that I'm drawn to in terms of like what I'm seeing here. The lady has awesome hair too. And for me, this is really about getting the idea of this image onto the page and not a, perfect likeness at all. I think portraits are more interesting if we try and capture the person rather than a perfect likeness. All right, so that's my black line sketching. Now, I don't use real colors. I like to use vibrant, bright colors that I enjoy. I'm going to go in with a regular yellow crayon and I'm going to add in this kind of highlights. And it's probably not going to show up very well on camera. But the yellow, just going to go in like that. For the highlights on the face. And some in the neck area as well. I can tell already that this paper does not have the world's greatest tooth. So I'm going to go back in with some orange. So I always start with sort of the lightest shade and work my way up darker and darker and darker. And I don't use real colors. I like using bright, vibrant pops of color. I work in layers when it comes to this. I don't know how well this paper is going to layer either. Like that's the thing with crayons, um, is that you do need to build up some layers of color, and I suspect this paper is not going to have great tooth for that. So, um, might need to adjust a little bit here as I'm working. So I'm putting down a general orange tone for this, face and kind of neck and shoulders. And when I do this, I'm not saying this woman is orange. I'm just saying that's kind of what I want to use right now. So I'm hitting that with orange. Now I'm going to go to a slightly darker orange and I'm going to layer over the top of that. Yeah, I can already feel I'm at this paper's limits for being able to hold the crayon. I'm not going to be able to get kind of layers I normally use. And I have been working with marker lately, which is um, not usual for me. Um, I am not a marker fan. I know I've said that before on the channel, but I'm trying to work on using markers more. I work with kids now, and kids love markers, and so if I'm able to have a little bit more skill using marker, it means I can help the kids use their markers a little bit better. Give them some hints and tips for marker use. So always trying to like increase my skills and improve my capabilities. All right, so there's that orange. Now I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of this violet red. Again, I'm slowly building up the areas of tone and um, value, light and dark, getting those darker areas in by building up layers of the crayon. Um, and by the time I get to the end of this image here, I know I'm going to be pressing pretty hard with these crayons, which is not what I usually like to do. I like building up the layers of crayon with like delicate kind of strokes, and instead I am really having to muscle it on, which I wouldn't necessarily have to do if I was using a kind of toothier paper. But, I don't want to complain all the time because this is actually not as bad as I would have expected in terms of the layering and what this feels like. Um, so I think you can get some pretty delicate lines and gesture with crayons. I don't know if I've talked about how much of a fan of crayons I am. I just moved to a darker violet um, here to get in those darker areas, and the orange and the violet really work well together to create kind of a darker tone in areas on this face. So one of the downsides to using crayon like this is that it is you build up the layers, but some papers like this one can only take so much. It's not going to be able to take the same amount of um, crayon. It's not going to be able to hold it. It doesn't have the tooth for it. Um, and crayon is also going to transfer. You also have to do your crayon layer last. So, you know, your crayon layer is going to be the last thing you put on. I'm going to switch over to this black. I don't always use black, but I think it's going to be necessary for this one. Okay, so this is the bold and brilliant construction paper crayon. And actually, I'm going to switch over to a blue and see how that works. I think blue is a better color for shadow work. Oh yeah, there we go. That's nice. So this feels a little softer than the other crayons. It's layering on a little more darkly for I'm not having to use quite as much pressure to get um, the same amount of crayon. So it's actually layering over the other crayon quite well, but yet still allowing some of the color to show through. Yeah, I like that. So these bold um, and brilliant crayons really do. It's giving it really nice shadow. I don't know if that's going to be visible on camera. Um, suppose you can zoom in and see it, but that's quite nice. I like that layering. I like the fact that I can see some of the blue and that I am going to come back in with the with the black, I think, for a couple of spots. I know that the blue is a little bruisey looking, but I think that's all right in this case. Really shadow that. Whole half of her face is very much in shadow. All right, and then I'm going to come back in with the black and really darken up some of these areas that are much darker. I noticed that little, that actually pops in the image as well in the photo. Um, some more black in there. Yeah, I'm happier with the crayons than I was worried that the crayons were going to be a mistake to suggest. But I'm really digging how they look. I'm going to add some more color in her hair. I'm going to use green. I'm going to use the vibrant green to highlight and add in the highlights. Um, and then do a darker green here to add in some of the darker areas. Oh yeah, I don't like I said, I don't use realistic colors for many reasons. Mostly I like using, these bold um bright colors. I think it's fun. Um, let's see. I think neon for her glasses. I'm gonna go neon blue for part of it. And then come back in with a very dark blue to go around the edges. And then for this particular case, I'm going to add some background color. I don't always do that with these images, but I'm going to add a little bit around her on this side. And that's going to give me this whole area over here for actual journaling. And I'm just using the crayon on its side and scrubbing the color in. I'm not being careful with this. I'm just scrubbing that color in, just getting in the color because I want it there. I'm not concerned with this being accurate or perfect. I just want the color on there. Now, I'm pretty happy with that. Now, the other part of this daily drawing exercise that I've been doing is I always put the date on there. And typically, when I do that, I am using this stamp, but that's off limits for for this particular exercise. So I'm just going to write the date on there. There we go. So that is this journal page started and not completed because I've still got a journal over here. But I'm pretty happy with how that face turned out with crayon. Now I am going to flip the page to check and see if this pen soaked through. And guess what? It did not. But you know what I am seeing? There's a little bit of a gap here where the paper is detaching. This is the problem that I have with perfect bound journals. Um, they're you get big gaps like that. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to flip to this page. I'm going to take some of my washi tape, and this washi tape may not be the right size for this, but we're gonna use what we got. And I'm just gonna rub that washi tape in that gutter and repair that page. Now, I'm also gonna come back here, and I don't know how this washi tape is gonna stick. So I'm gonna do this one, and I think that vibes with that lady that I drew. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Um, okay, that ain't good, but we're gonna put a piece of washi right there. I'm gonna see if I can find that end. And it's not the world's greatest thing when you have washi tape if it's so this washi tape may have gotten frozen in the warehouse. That tearing when it comes to washi tape and masking tape and stuff is sometimes due to it getting frozen. So I'm just gonna layer that on like that. That peeled up easily. Layer that on into that gutter. So I suspect that this journal is going to have a whole lot of problems like that. I am going to do my usual title page here. I'm going to put another layer of washi right there like that. And hopefully we don't lose any pages. But I'm going to continue working in this journal. Pretty happy with how that turned out. I'm going to do some journaling up in here. I am going to do my title page. Ooh, that washi is not sticking well. Let's see if I might just need to rub it down really well. We'll see what happens with that. Might need to put a couple of layers. This one's sticking pretty well though. And this appears to be sticking pretty well. So I guess we'll just keep an eye on that washi tape, see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and that one's tearing too. And this might be a problem I run into with all of these washi tapes. I don't know. I have this problem with other brands of washi tape. Um, you know, I don't think that this is necessarily because it came from Dollar Tree. I think this is just here's a inexpensive washi tape, and so stuff like this happens. I thought I was gonna get. Sometimes also you get dents on the side of your roll of washi tape, and that causes problems. So it could be that. Could be that it got frozen. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. Let me get that. I also am going to get this ready, prepped for putting in my address and name. I'm just going to do a little box here with the washi tape. So I guess what I'm trying to do here is I'm journaling with some stuff from Dollar Tree, but I also hope I'm giving you some ideas on how you can do this as well. Um, you know, I don't think art journaling needs to be this mysterious, um, you know, magical thing. I don't think we need to be precious with art journaling. I think everyone can art journal. I'm going to put a start line and should have done these opposite. And then a end line. All right, so that's just to get us started. So we'll put a start, end, And then I'm going to up here write my name, my address will go there. A thing that will happen, and I don't know if this is going to pick up on camera, and this is a danger or a problem, if you will, of using crayon, is if you work on this page and then you write on this page, you do that flippy back and forth thing, you can get transfer from the writing of the crayon on the reverse page. So that can be a problem with using crayon in your art journal. Look at that. That's not sticking. I think some of this might be from my having crayon on my fingertips, that it causes it not to stick well. But we'll figure that out. We will figure that out. Might just need to rub that down really well. I don't know. Anyway, that is using the Dollar Tree art journaling kit. Um, it's plenty of things you can do with it. Uh, you can get some ideas here, I hope. So the other bonus here is it all fits directly back into this bin. So yeah, I hope that gives you some ideas on things that you can do on a budget for art journaling with stuff from Dollar Tree. All right, thanks, and I'll see you next time.